Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Mack, and I am the new CEO of Authentic Leadership Global. And with me today is the founder of Authentic Leadership Global, Tana. And I'm really excited to be sharing some updates with you. I mean, the first one is that I've been able to step into a new role with this organization that I've been with for about a decade now. And Tana is going to have a little bit more time and space in her life to do the things that she does exceptionally well, which is producing amazing materials. She is definitely a thought leader in the area of authentic leadership. And so we're going to talk a little bit about a book that she's got coming out and the books that she has already written. But before I start to get into the books, what I'd like to do is first of all, have Tana introduce herself a little bit. And then I have a question that I want to ask you about what is an authentic leader?
Sure. Well, thank you, Laura. We had many conversations, so it's nice to have a conversation about this book and about the shift in your role in the company. So let me start. An authentic leader is someone who has a strong inner moral compass and who is calm and consistent and choiceful in their leadership as well as in their life. They're very intentional, very thoughtful, and they have a strong ethical grounding in everything that they do. They're able to be themselves, and when I say that, I mean sort of the best version of themselves. They're able to understand what's going on in the egoic mind and to override the unhelpful aspects of ego to do the right thing in more and more moments.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tana. And as I said, Tana has already published a couple of books, and we've got a new one that's coming out at the beginning of next week. And so the first one that came out was really talking a lot more about what Tana's just shared with you. You know, what actually is authentic leadership. And there's a lot of information in here that really it builds on the vast amount of research that has been done on authentic leadership and brings forward Tana's understanding of it and her expression of it in her work. And then that was followed up with the personal planning journal, which really guides the participant who uses this book through their own deepening of their own personal journey. And you know, as I said, I've been working with Tana. Tana's been my mentor, my colleague, my friend for over a decade now. And what I have found as I have been using these materials in my own personal journey, my professional journey, and bringing them out to clients is that it really deepens one's understanding of self and how one shows up. And then that helps to connect more deeply to self and connect more deeply with others as well. So now, next Monday, what is going to be coming available is Tana's new book, which is the compilation of topics that I've been so fortunate to be sharing with clients for years now, both in the coaches that I train who bring this into their practice and share them with their clients. And then I've also been able to take these materials into the corporate community, the not-for-profit community, and now it is together in a book that is accessible to all of you and is going to be for sale on Monday through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So Tana, tell us a little bit more about why you are bringing this book out now.
Thank you. I'm smiling because I'm realizing, geez, it took me 14 years to write that book. So the first one was 8 years, and this one was 14. And so I started writing it in 2006. And I wanted to, when I left BC Hydro, my executive job there, I wanted a way to support others to, number one, be themselves as leaders, because I had a really hard time in the early part of my career. And when I started learning how to be myself, I was much more successful at it. And the impact that I had on others who I worked with was much more positive, because I could be myself and not try to be like someone else. So that was the first reason. The second reason is I believe in the power of conversation, real conversations. I've seen so many opportunities where where when we're working with a group or a team or a leader, and we have a real conversation with them, the walls drop away and we get to meet the true essence of who that person is. And it's such a powerful experience for us to meet each other for the first time, and for them to experience authenticity in a group session or one-on-one. And so I started writing these action worksheets, and there's 18 of them in this book. And I like to do how-to books, as you know, Laura. And so how to cultivate both authenticity, emotional intelligence, as well as the basic skills that are needed to be an authentic leader. And so that's kind of the basis of the book. There's 18 of them. I've written a bit of context in front of each one of them, and a note about the pandemic and COVID and these times that we're going through. I really wanted to support leaders and organizations because I think they have a huge opportunity to change the course of the conversations and the actions and the direction that the world is taking. And so we've been saying since 2009, since we met, that the world is being made ready for us. We're getting ready for the world. And when the world is ready for us, we will be ready. And so it's taken this long to bring these materials forth, and to be able to stand solidly in the philosophy and the practices of cultivating authenticity. And my hopes are that leaders will take the torch forward, both for themselves and for their teams, and that they will help to have the conversations that are going to keep us safe, compassionate, and successful going forward within the pandemic and post, and for whatever happens in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I have a sense that people listening to this are going to be wondering, so what are these 18 topics? And so if I can, I would like to talk about a couple of the topics that I have found are so important. When we do the training with coaches and facilitators, the very first topic we introduce them to is the inner critic. Now, why do we do that? Because what we have found in this work is that just about everybody has an inner critic. It may be very, very loud. It may be a little quiet. It may be kind of just, and as we start to talk about this, quite often what we find is people say, oh, I thought I was the only one that had that going on. And as we normalize this, we allow an opportunity to arise for people to become a little bit more open and a little bit more vulnerable with one another within teams and organizations. And that is a profound shift. Now, the other topic that I really like is difficult conversations, because it's something that many of us struggle with. And oh my goodness, if we are not realizing that these days, I don't know if it's like it's happening everywhere. Just going to the grocery store, we're having difficult conversations. And so having tools for having effective, difficult conversations and healthy debate is critical. It's critical in organizations. It's critical in just navigating these very complex times that we're living in. So I don't want to tell you about all the topics in this conversation, but those are a couple that you're going to hear more about. And we said we were going to keep this short. I know we could talk to each other and to you for a very long time, but before we close this off, Tana, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I hope you find it helpful. That's my wish, is that we put this work out into the world, and that it supports having a ripple effect. You'll study it maybe in the context of work, and it will be very helpful in the context of your whole life and with your family and your community.
So again, here's the book. Title is Authentic Leadership Conversations for Meaningful Connection. It's going to be available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble on Monday, and I'll be sending out links again. So look forward to hearing that you've bought it and answering any of the questions that you might have. So thanks for listening, and thanks for sharing, because I know you will.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye, Tana.